A sold-out Moby Arena here in Fort Collins, Colorado. Big-time Mountain West matchup. Fresno State traveling to Colorado State. Should be a great atmosphere for some hoops. Chris Lewis with Chris Walker, have Brandon Baylor coming up from the sideline. That is Justin Hudson, fourth year as the Fresno State head coach. He's brought over the defense from when he was an assistant at San Diego State. Here's the starting lineups in this matchup. It's a familiar starting five for Fresno State. Orlando Robinson is the top player, near 7 feet tall, averaging 19 points and 8 boards. Colorado State has potential player of the year, David Roddy, at the forward position. Nico Medved leads the Rams, fourth year, former coach at Drake and Furman, and he's had the Colorado State Rams on a roll the last couple of seasons. Now, two of the Mountain West top 5 teams squaring off. Mentioned it's a big-time matchup in the standings with Wyoming and Boise State, each leading the way at 9-1. Colorado State, though, not too far back, and Fresno State still has their eyes near the top spot. That's Orlando Robinson, not just a good offensive player, but he also anchors a Fresno State defense coach that is amongst the best in the nation. Meanwhile, Colorado State with Roddy leads the top offense in the league.
To use a boxing reference, styles make fights. And this here, the best offensive team against one of the top 5 defensive teams in the nation. We'll see what gives, C-Lou.
Well, Fresno State, their offense put to test first. 8,000 plus on hand at Moby Arena. And they'll be loud all night. Hill throws it away, too tall for Robinson somehow, who's 7 feet tall down there on the block.
And you talk about a Fresno State team that does not turn the ball over often, first possession or turnover, getting this raucous crowd into it already.
Fresno State had a program record low 2 turnovers.
Amazing.
In their last game against Wyoming. A loss, only 2 turnovers, but still lost by 2 to Wyoming.
I'm sure that keeps Justin Hudson up at night. One of the hardest things to do is not have your team turn the ball over. Doesn't factor into winning and to lose, but they lost against a very good Wyoming team.
Roddy for Colorado State. He gives it away. Both teams do a good job this season of taking care of the ball and turnovers on both teams' opening possession.
Listen, Roddy and Robinson may get ready. They're going to both get a steady dose of 2 guys guarding them at all times.
Isaiah Hill, point guard, junior from Bakersfield, California. The Tulsa transfer way off.
Because he's been on fire as of late, and he's actually a good 2-point shooter. That was a little bit off to the side there, off the rim. But look at Colorado State to cutting action on that offense. Let's see how physical Fresno can be, what the Fresno State can do.
Deshaun Thomas breaks the seal a minute 15 in for Colorado State.
And that's a game changer. Think about it. You can keep Roddy inside. You can go inside out, depending on how they play. But if he makes threes like that, it's going to be a long night for the Bulldogs.
Here's the inside work for Robinson off glass.
Yeah, that's why he's so good. You let him get turned over that shoulder. He usually likes the other box, but let him go middle. It's going to be a tough one. Got to see how quick they come with the double. You cannot let him get comfortable. He's far too good. Had a great talk with Justin Hudson. You know what he said? He said his body changed. He had a chance to work this summer with the strength coach. It was one of the things that COVID took away from a lot of players. It actually helped him. He's improved immeasurably.
Stevens fade as the shot clock winds down, and Isaiah Stevens connects.
That's why they're so good in the league. Best at sharing the basketball. When you share the basketball, sharing is caring. Just can't turn it over against this stingy Fresno State defense.
They are second in the Mountain West in assists at a near 15 a game for Colorado State.
Fresno State's going to try to get in that paint.
And another turnover for Fresno State. It's Moore, who had a great game last time out. Wild on the layup. Kendall Moore can't deliver.
Yeah, got to come down on 2 feet. Bit of a circus shot there, but that's what's going to happen. Those touchdown turnovers, and that's what Coach Justin Hudson, he doesn't want those turnovers. That time it did not hurt them and result in the basket.
Robinson seeing double vision early, leaves open Holland, off on the jumper, tip back, Colomario can't get it to fall, and Roddy pulls in the rebound.
Colomario is one of the most efficient players in the league. He usually puts that down.
the strength of Colorado State, the three-point shot. Kendall Moore is an excellent three-point shooter in his career. Struggling from downtown this season. Misses on the interior.
Fresno State does a great. They're going to make sure they're going to force them to make shots in the paint. They're not going to allow them to be comfortable making threes. And there he is again, same action, going over that left shoulder, far too close. They're going to have to push him out of the lane. You let a guy with his magnitude get that close, you can call it a night.
At what point do you send doubles? At what point do you want to play it straight up for a 7-footer who is one of the most dominant players in this league?
Well, he's in the middle of the floor, so it's hard to double there. You hope he gets to one of the boxes so you can bring a double from behind him on a shooter. But if they keep throwing it high-low like that, it's going to be tough. And there he is, bringing it up. Both these guys can do it, Chris. I'm telling you, that's what makes them special and unique.
Dude, 7 feet tall, just coasting up like a point guard.
That's why little guys like myself can't play in the league anymore, because guys like him bring the ball up.
5 out on this possession for the Bulldogs. Late shot clock. Robinson goes to work. Jab step three. He could shoot the three ball. 34%.
You know, he can't shoot it, but I'd give him that all game long. You know, I'd rather have him shooting that shot than shooting. Oh, there it is right there. You got to get that bounce. That's the home bounce. Big body Roddy. I love saying that name, by the way. I mean, what an unbelievable kid. We had a chance to spend some time with him, and unfortunately, you know what? He didn't want to make a Super Bowl.
Oh, wow. Didn't want to make anybody mad.
Big-time football player in high school.
Quarterback. A bunch of coaches tried to recruit him and get him to play different positions at the next level in college. He wanted to play hoops. As the ball goes out, yields our first timeout with Colorado State, leading by 4. But going back to David Roddy, it is interesting. I mean, he was a high school quarterback in Minnesota, similar to Jalen Suggs, who was a dominant college basketball
Both from
player.
Minnesota.
Minnesota's legend at the high school and basketball level. But Roddy, 3 sports, had to pick one, and what led him to basketball was the recruiting process, where he just felt like it was more of a personal connection to the coaches who were in basketball versus the football process, which seemed a little bit more disconnected.
I mean, it helped that Nico Medved is from Minnesota, so that helped. A graduate of Minnesota is, and that's what happens in the recruiting process. It's a connection. You know, you feel a connection. I'm sure he had other schools that were talking to him. Hey, we can do this, we can do that, and he just believed in their vision, and that's what it takes to really get a player, a game changer like him, coming to this program is absolutely amazing.
He's put up amazing numbers, too. Over 19 points, 8 rebounds, and against Nevada, he went to work early in the game. He made 10 of his first 11 shots, 29 points in the game, 8 rebounds. It was a game that Colorado State really needed to win if they had eyes on contending for first place in the league, and Roddy made sure that it would not be a setback.
Yeah, he's just, again, he's a special player, can do it at all 3 levels. I mean, he even talked about, you know, the one thing I love about players, when they love their coaches, talk about he gives them the freedom, and he even mentioned to us that a couple of moves, the fadeaway, he said he had been working that move for 2 years. I mean, just think about the camaraderie of the team, and when your best player is one of your best guys, it makes things a lot smoother in your program.
He had a little smile on his face, too, talking about that fadeaway. He's like, you guys noticed?
Oh, yeah, we definitely noticed.
Yeah, you noticed.
Yeah, we definitely noticed. And, you know, he was so eloquent and loquacious. I said, listen, man, you're not getting my job. You're going to play basketball for a long time, so chill out.
Is getting attention on draft radars. And speaking of draft, Orlando Robinson on the other side for Fresno State might be the best NBA prospect. A handful of coaches in the Mountain West have said he's the league's best NBA prospect.
Yeah, I mean, 7 foot, can, you know, shoot threes, post up, has vision on doubles. I mentioned earlier how he changed his body, and Coach Hudson said like he had a spring, a fall, and a summer where he can get in the gym and work with the strength coach. And then again, last year getting doubled without having with COVID, you know, not his fault at the behest of COVID, but now his game has improved to such a high level. He is really being talked about at the next level.
He tested those NBA draft waters with, of course, the idea of always coming back to Fresno State, catches the ball out of the timeout. Stevens with the active hands. Robinson regathers, gets the roll off the rim.
See, I'm talking about that high-low action is hard to double while the ball's in the air. That gives the help defenders a chance to get there. But he's so good, he has great hands. They're going to have to talk about that. The way to stop that is you have to pressure the passer.
Robinson is all 6 for Fresno State.
They're making a statement. They're going to him early and often, which is very smart.
Great pump fake, Isaiah Rivera, and off the Colorado State bench.
Fresno State, it's all about pace. They're going to take their time, and if I was them, it's working. Get the ball down to number 10 and force them to make adjustments.
James Moore's in to defend, the reserve big for Colorado State. Stepping on the end line, Fresno State giveaway, their third turnover.
You see that high-low action. He's looking right inside, right there up top. They got to be there right away to help. See Stevens there on the ball. That helps immeasurably. But just got, look, guys around him, it doesn't matter. He's still going to finish. He's just too good. His hands are too good, and his ability to finish is elite. Colorado State's going to run that offense with precision. They're going to move it from side, top side, and get cutters going to the rim just like that.
No cutter that time, Isaiah Rivera from the pass by David Roddy.
And we were at the walkthrough. What does Coach Hudson saying? They're going to cut, right? And what does Coach Medved said? We're going to get this, and they got it.
No mysteries at this point in the year. Everything's on film.
Yeah, you're right about that. But again, you know, you got to find a way to stop these guys, even though you know what they want to do. Easier said than done.
Robinson from the right block. Drop step, sees a double, but delivers.
Goodness. What is that emoji? Is it OMG? I mean, you let him turn over that shoulder, it's a wrap. And you see Fresno State putting a little token pressure on. You got to force him, and they even forced him out a little bit more. That was almost a 15-foot jump hook. Just so good. You got to come and you got to make him give it up. You got to force him to be a passer.
Did you say OMG is an emoji?
Is it an emoji?
I mean, it's just 3 letters. But emoji would be like the smoke coming out of the nose kind of thing, which I feel like fitting
that's
for
what
Robinson.
I mean. Oh, listen, I know we're in different ages and stages here.
Foul on Fresno State. Again, these are 2 teams that also don't commit many fouls.
Yeah, that's just discipline defense, and guys that are coaches, that the players listen to them and really buy into their style of defense. And when you don't put teams on the line, it gives you a chance to win because they don't get free points. I can't believe you chopped up my emoji comment.
I mean, I had to do it. Stevens has it poked, but a personal. Second foul on Fresno State on this possession.
Notice that they're just making sure, you know, there was a mismatch there, so you can't reach. You got to put your body there. But Stevens said, yeah, right there, you can't reach. Supposed to V that in. But you know why he took him? Because he got number 10 Robinson on him. It's a mismatch. So he says, I got to try to get to the rim on him.
Foul called on Colomario. That's back-to-back fouls on Fresno State's power forward. A sold-out and rowdy Moby Arena in Fort Collins, Colorado. Big-time Mountain West matchup between 2 big-time players, one on each side. David Roddy is Colorado State's top player. Deposits 2, count the bucket, will get a foul.
I mean, right away, as soon as he come in, that curl cut right on the out-of-bounds play. They talked about that, but that's why they call him Big Body Roddy. I mean, you can't just allow him to turn. Someone has to put their body there to try to get a charge, but who wants to step in the way of that truck?
That truck 6'6", 255 listed. With Coach Chris Walker, Chris Lewis here, Brandon Baylor, our reporter, will be with us in a bit. Colorado State, Fresno State, 2 of the Mountain West top 5 teams. Both have their eyes on contention for the league crown. And Colorado State already their largest lead of the game, 5-point advantage at home.
And look for Fresno State to control the tempo. They can get the ball into 10 Robinson every single time they can.
And a foul is Robinson trying to carve out that position. Here's the Mountain West standings. Wyoming, Boise State, they sit at the top. Colorado State not too far behind, and Fresno State still has their eyes on the crown.
Yeah, they definitely do, and they're right there in the talk for the NCAA tournament, and they have to, you know, win. This would be a pivotal win. They need a quad 1 win on the road. This would be phenomenal if they got this win, particularly that heartbreaker to Wyoming.
That Wyoming game last time out, a 2-point loss. And Justin Hudson was a tough defeat for him, the head coach for the Bulldogs. Former assistant at San Diego State, and he's really brought that defense focus over to Fresno State. They have one of the best defenses in the nation.
Yeah, we saw him today doing walkthrough. He was very intense, very direct. Did a great job of coaching his guys, and it's no accident why San Diego State is the #1 team in defense, and then the carryover. Justin's now the head coach at Fresno State, and he does a phenomenal job there as well.
Well, Nico Medved leads the Mountain West top offense in the league to this point, and he's really had this Colorado State program rolling the last few years.
Yeah, came back here as head coach at Drake, and he was a joy to talk to as well. And again, you know, the culture, you know, the guys in the checking, looked like they were checking the clock.
The shot clock as to whether the ball hit the rim. They put the clock at 13. Fresno State, all 8 of their points in the paint so far. That's a three-pointer by Donovan Yap, way off.
Yeah, that's one of my keys. I believe that they have to make threes if they're going to win this game. This is, like I said, styles make fights, and a prize fight like this, I think Fresno State needs to score. They're only giving up 57 a game. Not sure they can hold Colorado State to that.
The handles and the feed. Roddy finds Morse. The playmaking ability of David Roddy on full display.
And that's what makes him so special. Yes, he can shoot the three. Yes, he's got the fadeaway in the post and all the moves in his bag, but he drops dimes as well. Unbelievable player.
Yap slices. Floater is true.
I mentioned again, like, they do a really good job of getting to the paint, right? But I don't know if twos can get it done this game, Chris. You understand what I'm saying? They get to the paint and they can score. They're really good two-point shooters. But to win on the road against this team, I think they need the three ball.
Freshman Jalen Lake a little short, and the backup big Braxton Mia, who's in for Orlando Robinson, who's getting a rest on the bench for Fresno State.
Yeah, another big body. You give Robinson a blow. He's not the scorer that Robinson is, but he takes up space. And if they can get into the lane, it opens up angles for him to get some putbacks and some layups. But right there, Mr. Whitaker answers.
As soon as you said, Coach, Fresno State needs to find something from three-point range. Whitaker's there for the challenge.
I call them Curries. They need a whole lot of Curries. You know, one of the worst, I don't want to say one of the worst shooting teams. It's not something that they emphasize, but they are efficient. They just don't shoot a lot of them.
Roddy on that left block. He likes to fade away from that spot. Set a cross-court dime. Three way off by the freshman Lake.
I was ready to shout his name out. You know, I love my boys from Texas, from Waxahachie. I was ready.
Just wanted to get the shout out in.
I was ready to get it in.
Mia and Moore's battling on the block. Baseline for Whitaker.
That's the question. Where do they get the offense from when Robinson's out of the game?
Rivera's men at the summit. Junior Ballard climbed the ladder. Said it should have been a block. I believe a foul is called, but Colorado State up by 2 early.
And Mr. Roddy, I'm not just a big, I can also drop dimes. Unbelievable job with the no look.
For those of you watching on CBSSports.com, streaming coverage will conclude after the commercial break. We will continue on CBS Sports Network. You can find us by going to CBSSportsNetwork.com/channel finder. College basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Grand Wagoneer. Sold out Moby Arena, and the hometown Colorado State Rams a 15-13 lead over the Fresno State Bulldogs. With Coach Chris Walker, Chris Lewis here with you, and these two teams are two of the reasons why the Mountain West perhaps one of their best seasons since 2013.
No, sir, there's a question about it, but here's the other thing. The two players, right? Big body Roddy, I love to call him, and Orlando Robinson, they're playing phenomenal, treating this crowd to a nice little game. Let me tell you right now, stay tuned to this one. This one's going to be fire the rest of the way.
For the first time tonight, let's check in with our reporter, Brandon Baylor.
Hey, Chris, what's going on? It's time for Intuit TurboTax player profile, and it happens to be the big man in the middle for Fresno State, Orlando Robinson. No surprise, their name will be saying a lot tonight. He majors in communication, of course, from Las Vegas, Nevada. By the way, finalist for Lute Olson Award, named for Nate Smith Mid-Season Award watch list, and ranked 5th in Kim Palm. By the way, his pregame routine, a nap and a cold shower, and can confirm it's a nap, then the shower, fellas.
I don't know anybody who would take the shower, then nap, especially a cold shower, then nap. Like, that would seem backwards.
I like the nap. I'm down with getting a little shut-eye, you know?
Yeah.
But you know one thing's for sure, he's not sleeping right now on the court. He's playing, he's checked back into the game. He's been superb so far. And we'll see if there's, after this timeout, if there are any adjustments by Colorado State in the way of doubling them.
David Roddy on the bench. That's the potential Mountain West Player of the Year on the Colorado State side. But Fresno State top player Orlando Robinson in the game. The first free throw, back rim and off for Rivera. He was fouled before the break. So are these minutes important ones for Fresno State with their top player on and the Colorado top player off?
I would say yes and no, because they're not really going to let Roddy guard Robinson, you know what I mean? So what I would say is they're going to get a steady diet of trapping him. And you're talking about one of the best teams in the Mountain West for shooting free throws. Missing two right there, uncharacteristic of them. But if I'm Fresno State, I'm going to him early and often and forcing them to see what type of adjustments that they're going to use. They're ISOing him on Thomas.
He's open, Yap, off the back of the rim.
And see, Chris, there's going to be a lot of those, right? He's going to make plays, and that's what I said before. You got to make triples because you're going to have those step-in threes all game long.
Colorado State, this is their only home game in a stretch of 4 out of 5 away from Moby Arena. The crowds here in Fort Collins have been great this season. Rivera, after missing 2 free throws, not shy about a jumper.
They're shooting over 7-footer, not so easy. Shot selection's always key. Shot quality is always key. Not sure if that's a good shot so early in the shot clock.
Jordan Campbell. Whitaker on the pump fake. Late shot clock. Stevens reaches, gets a steal. One of the best guards in the conference. Delivers a pass to Rivera, who's met again at the net. And the ball stays here as it goes out. So with Colorado State, their duo, we've talked a lot about Roddy, but Isaiah Stevens, who had the most recent steal, he's also all-conference caliber. He was all second team a season ago, so that's kind of the 1-2 punch that's allowed Colorado State to get out to this 18-3 record.
See, you set me up there. That's my boy from Allen, Texas. I told you, I want to talk about my guys from the great state. I'm talking about a recruit that I am still baffled of how he got out of the state of Texas. Give Colorado State, speaking of that, to his staff, all the credit for finding him. He's had a phenomenal career.
Excellent move by Jordan Campbell for his first bucket. Tied at 15 as Fresno State has scored the game's last 7.
Jordan Campbell scores is usually a good sign for Fresno State. You have to find alternative offense outside of Robinson. Anthony Holland's another one, been silent so far.
With Roddy on the bench, let's Colorado State get their offense. Usually would fall on Stevens, late shot clock. Thistlewood gets it off, but can't draw iron. It's a shot clock violation, and that Fresno State defense continues to be strong. Bulldogs, they bring in their top defense. Colorado State, their offense, and so far at a stalemate.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by the all-new 2022 Grand Wagoneer. By Intuit TurboTax Live. You do your thing. We've got your taxes. And by AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, and secure.
One of the most fun places to watch a basketball game, certainly in the Mountain West, Moby Arena. It's a sellout with Colorado State, Fresno State tied at 15. 2 top players, David Roddy and Orlando Robinson, have both made noise.
It's simply a pleasure to watch. You see big body Roddy dropping the dime, and there he is cutting inside of that offense. I mean, he doesn't have to have the ball in his hands to make things happen. Just a very cerebral player. And this guy here, you have to figure out how you're going to guard him. He's a load, 7-foot, great hands. And here the double comes too late. Good night. A fadeaway jump hook over the left shoulder. The kid is special, and that's why the NBA guys are all here to watch not just him, but Roddy as well.
Yeah, it's a great matchup, as you can see the player comparison. So Roddy might be one of the favorites for the player of the year. That's thanks in large part to Colorado State being closer to the top of the standings. Orlando Robinson has just as good of numbers, but with his height, his build, he is considered by many coaches in this league to be the best NBA prospect in the league.
And if you look at NCAAM ratings, they have him as one of the top 5 guys being National Player of the Year. So his numbers are absolutely phenomenal. It's just a matter of how Fresno State finishes down the stretch.
He's grabbed on the hip on the floor. See, at the NBA, you might get that continuation, but he's not there yet.
Gregory Nixon, official, all on top of that one, says, no, we have to go to the line. Actually, probably going to be on the floor.
Deshaun Thomas whistled for the foul. 4th foul called on Fresno State, and the officiating crew wants to take a look, and they head over to the scorer's table. Mike Reed, Roderick Dixon, Gregory Nixon.
Gotcha. Yeah. I think they're trying to see if it was an intentional. He did grab him. Drive to the rim. Yeah, right there, the grab by Thomas.
Do you think that is considered a flagrant? Didn't make the action on trying to strip the ball loose?
I mean, I played in the Big East, and that's like saying hello. I'm going to say that right now.
The pregame handshake right there.
Yeah, that's like saying, what's up, Chris? How you doing? But in today's game, you cannot grab them. It'll be interesting to see what the officials come back with. I would say no, but, you know, we'll see. I've been wrong before on that one. I got to turn my old player Big East brain off. In today's game, with freedom of movement and intentional fouls, and
the former point guard at Villanova talking.
Well, give me a little love. I like that. See, I got to hire you as my agent. I got to hire you as my agent.
I'm not saying I'm turning anything down. That's for sure.
Upgrading the common foul to a flagrant 1. Didn't make a play on the basketball.
So got the note from Roderick Dixon. They have upgraded the common foul to a flagrant 1. Did not make a play on the basketball.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, he definitely grabbed him. And you can see him trying to get to the rim. I mean, that could be considered a play on the ball, but right there afterwards, just to grab, better off just letting him have the layup.
As you said, the game has changed, and Robinson has a chance to get already in double figures scoring. At that free throw, 9 of Fresno State's first 16 points.
And he's been superb so far this game. I really like the way Coach Hudson talked about him having an opportunity with COVID. You know, not just him, but every team. You know, they didn't have a spring, they didn't have a summer, right? They didn't have a fall, and they get 8 weeks in each of those segments. That's a lot of time off. The kids need to develop.
It's a great note. You can see right there is Colorado State struggling when Roddy is on the bench. He's back on the floor, and it's a Fresno State turnover. I don't know if it's a cause and effect there, as Roddy didn't really have any impact on that play.
Justin Hudson, he's beside himself over there. He's like, what are we doing? Unforced errors. Token pressure by the Bulldogs. It's a stingy defense, one of the best in the nation. 57 points a game. We're really playing some defense. A lot of that could be offense as well. They're so patient. They're playing against an offensive juggernaut. They're being held in check right now.
Tanjay. No.
This crowd, you can see they're on their heels, in front of their seats. They're just ready to erupt. Fresno State's doing a good job with the pace. I would just keep force-feeding number 10 and force them to make plays.
Robinson against Roddy. Matchup that you pay to see. Campbell stops his tracks. Needs to get out of the paint. Step-through move. Ballard, no.
And that's their game. They're going to try to get in that paint early and often. You mentioned earlier, Colorado State does a fantastic job of not fouling. Spin cycle.
And Roddy against Robinson. Those two potential Mountain West players of the year defending each other and putting on a show.
Dance like a dancing bear out there. Take them one way and spin the other way with finesse. See, I love to see the best players guard each other. You don't get that often.
They're seeing it here. Robinson wants the answer. Double team comes, and Roddy rejects Robinson.
Superb defense by Colorado State. They know he wants to turn baseline over that shoulder. Jacobs came with the double team without fouling and got the turnover.
Roddy wants three. I would have brought the house down.
He can make that shot. Almost 50% from three. That's what makes him so dangerous, because he can also put it on the floor, so you have to guard him.
A lot of action so far. Campbell to add to it. Around and out. And that's Jacobs who skies for the rebound.
You feel the pace starting to pick up a little bit, going back and forth. These two teams know what this game means. He might have got away with a walk there.
I was going to call it a hesitation, but might be another word for a travel.
Justin Hudson, slow this thing down a little bit and call a timeout.
17-17 at Moby Arena. Packed house. We'll be back in 30. Colorado State crowd loves themselves some David Roddy, the potential player of the year, all-conference forward for CSU.
Yeah, they definitely. You see that spin right there. Orlando Robinson's got to slide his feet, but somebody has to be there helping. Junior Valley number 4, not there. And you see that baseline. He didn't see it coming. Good job by Jacobs not fouling. And look at Roddy with that verticality, getting the block. That's textbook defense. Again, that's paying attention to the scouting report. Wait until he turns and then come chest him, and he can't see it, and he gets the turnover.
Roddy's listed at 6'6", Robinson at 7 feet. They're guarding each other. Robinson, fadeaway, that's
Ooh. Pretty. That's one of those, when you're at the park, you say, ooh-wee. I'm picking him. 7 foot, there's nothing you can do on a fadeaway like that. There's intention there. The intention is we're going to our best player, and they're going to have to stop him at some point. It was a nasty fadeaway.
Dante. Fresno State rebounds, and
might be a flop. He kicked.
It is a flop warning called on Colorado State.
And there's just an ISO action. He's going right in there, just ISO. Hands are too late. You got to get your hands in there to help him. Thistlewood late. You got to put your body there. You reach. He's just too good. You know, he takes his time. He's patient. It's the reason why they say this guy can play at the next level. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, a 7-footer with all those tools in the toolbox is very dangerous offensively.
He has 12 points in this game. He only had 11 against Wyoming all game long. So that's a bounce back already for Orlando Robinson.
See, Roddy's doing a good job now fronting him. Don't allow him to get it. That's a great way to stop him from scoring, because once he gets it, he's a problem.
Hill, the creator, crossover, sidestep, jumper, short.
See, Hill came off the ball screen, had Roddy on him, should have just stretched him out and then gone inside, because they had a mismatch. This is certainly a mismatch here.
Minnesota native goes to work. Off the back rim, and it's the second time he gets a shooter's roll.
Yeah, once that little baby's in the post, they're going to put him to sleep. Roddy saw that. The player spread out, got away from him. There's no way Holland had a chance to guard him there.
Roddy has 4 older brothers, all athletes, competitive family. Robinson against Roddy. Pick and pop game. He has that in his bag. Yes, sir.
Oh, my goodness. Can I use the OMG emoji now? No, it's not an emoji.
You can use whatever you want.
And I appreciate that.
You got to the point where you can use whatever
right
you want.
Now. That's the Robinson's neighborhood. That's what he's making. Moby Arena.
Junior from Las Vegas. A big first half, 15 points.
Look at the active hands. Fresno State was just so solid in their defense. They were fired up to play this game from the walkthrough. You could tell the intensity.
Mid-range. Short from Roddy, and Robinson gobbles it up.
Robinson looks a little tired. And keep going to him. Keep feeding him. Throw it in the post.
Backdoor Hill. Floater before the defense rotates. That's a pretty move by Isaiah Hill.
I'm telling you right now, as Fresno State puts that press on again, that was called from the bench by Justin Hudson. Great job there. They saw them denying. They got Hill a bucket.
Fresno State up 5. They're 0-3 in their quad 1 win opportunities. Do not have one yet. This would be one. Zooming Stevens.
Yeah, they're just so hard to stop You know, we talked to Hudson earlier about the cutting and how fast they run their offense with precision. Very difficult to stop them and close out because they can shoot threes and they can get to the rim and finish as well.
Part of the reason they have the league's top offense at 78 points per game, just not many weaknesses.
Miss Robinson on the pick and pop action.
Take Roddy off the dribble. Extends the arm and is called for the offensive foul. Offensive foul on Orlando Robinson, only his first foul as Fresno State has the three-point lead. So David Roddy, the junior from St. Paul, Minnesota. There's too much strength for Holland underneath. But Fresno State is playmakers. Isaiah Hill plays that role as the lead guard. Isaiah Stevens, the Allen, Texas products. College basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Grand Wagoneer. Wednesday night, get ready for more Bulldog basketball as Fresno State welcomes the Running Rebels into the San Joaquin Valley. Don't miss tip-off at 10:30 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. The Mountain West just doesn't really give you any breaks. Just take a look at what Fresno State they have left. Remember, the Bulldogs haven't lost back-to-back games all season long. They're coming off of a defeat at the hands of Wyoming. Have some opportunities still left to get some big wins to boost their resume.
You see the three that were shaded, these two here, those are quad one opportunities. They need that one, but I'm telling you right now, UNLV beat Colorado State. You know, New Mexico, they almost beat Fresno State at home. Like, there are no gimmies in this league. That's why this league is so tough, because even as you start getting towards the bottom, you have really good teams. You're talking about Donovan Williams and Bryce Hamilton for UNLV, are two of the best players in the league.
Mentioned Bryce Hamilton for UNLV. He came in here to Moby Arena and scored 42 points to lead UNLV to the victory. It's one of the best performances that the league has seen this year. Coming up at the half, join Brent Stover, Brandon Rush, John Rothstein, Seth Davis. They have AT&T at the half. A look at this first half. It's been action-packed. The two-star players have showcased why. David Roddy for Colorado State, Orlando Robinson for Fresno State. That time, active hands. Junior Ballard gets his hands on it. It's a Fresno State steal.
That was just fantastic defense. They had the dime. They dropped the dime. He was open, and you got to be tough because this Fresno State team, Bulldogs for a reason, stripped them on the way up, and they're going right back to the man, Mr. Robinson.
Smaller Tanjay on him and draws the foul.
Yeah, there's no reason to foul him. Just wall up, verticality, get your hands up, and make him kick it out. Tanji obviously undersized here. Roddy comes, and then he fouls. They had the double team in place. Why foul him?
Between Robinson and then Wyoming's Graham Ike, I mean, these are two of the best players in the league at drawing fouls. Seems to get to the line quite a bit.
He just, again, his toolbox is full. He's got screwdrivers, wrench. He's got whatever you need, crowbar. He just has everything, and you have to guard him on so many different levels. And on that box, that's his favorite box. You really have to guard him. And that's the shot they got to make right there. The kick out three. Because it's going to be open all game long, because if Robinson continues to score, and Junior Ballard, that's all he does is knock down threes. 20 of his 26 makes this year are from a three-point line.
Fresno State up by 6 on the road. Crowd a bit quiet. Morris to the rim. Gets the roll and a foul. Now the crowd's no longer quiet.
Yeah, just a poor decision by Robinson to go for that steal. Make Moores, just make Moores score over you. You know, just no reason to do that. And again, somebody should be here. You see right here in that area, somebody should be able to take a charge. Just getting there late. Whitaker's getting there late. But because, you know why Whitaker's there late? Because they're guarding shooters. But Robinson, again, put them in peril by reaching, and now he has to sit.
James Moore's New Zealand product was a playmaker in the win against Nevada. Had a season-high 4 assists last time out. Short on the free throw, and the best free throw shooting team in the Mountain West, Colorado State, has missed 3 free throws of their 4 attempts in this first half.
Of course, you mentioned that they scored 7-8 points a game. Look at the scores. They have 23 points. This is what Fresno State does. They play their pace. They suffocate you. And if Robinson plays the way he's playing right now, it makes it tougher. And this crowd does not like that call by Mike Reed, the official.
He'll lobby for it. As soon as he had it knocked away, he did look at the official and gets the call. And for Moores, that is his second personal.
33 seconds on the clock. The reset is 20, so Colorado State will get another shot. Again, I keep saying, where does the offense come from? With Robinson out, he's 6 of 9 for 15 points. The rest of the team 4 for 14.
And that one's Colorado State ball. It's a foul, like a bowling ball. Anthony Holland knocked over a couple of pins. First foul.
It's a little sloppy there. It's just a foul, just an easy foul. Can't put your hands in there. Got his hands in the cookie jar. Robinson, he needs that break. Look at him. Says, you know why he's clapping? He says, get to halftime. I need some oxygen.
Hey, he's put in the work, though.
He certainly has.
More than half of Fresno State's points. And not to mention what he's set up from the double teams, getting it to shooters.
30.5 on the clock. I mean, technically, Fresno State can run this thing out almost to the end and take a good shot. I think they got to shoot it about 5 seconds.
Stevens cashes in on both in the 1-and-1. Colorado State calls the timeout. Want to set the defense up for the last possession of the half. We'll be back in 30. Fresno State up to their last possession of the first half. And Chris, what does Fresno State do here on their final look?
I mean, I thought they were going to sub him in and I was going to call it out, and then Colorado State called a timeout. But guess who's back in the game? Orlando Robinson. He's only in the game for one reason. They're going to run offense, side, top side, running around, and then throw it inside to him on that box over there. Force them to double, and then we'll see what happens. They kick it out for an open three. Or, how about this? Let me throw another one there. He comes, sets a ball screen, and try to get Hill in the lane and maybe get a pick and pop.
Couple of options. The initiation starts with 6 seconds. Robinson sets the screen, does pop. Holland instead gets it. He triggers a three. Short. Robinson tip back rebound. He's fouled.
He's doing everything tonight, just getting in there. Pick and pop like I thought, caught them off guard. They're one of the best three-point shooters on the team, an open shot. That was definitely a foul. Tanji fouled him and Roddy fouled him.
Roddy gets called for the foul. And with just 0.2, Robinson, 16 first half points. A dominant performance for the big.
You can't ask for a better half from him.
That does it for the first 20. Fresno State on the road has the game in the style that they want. A lower scoring game that fits their defense, as Fresno State has a 28-25 lead against Colorado State. Coming up after the break, join us for AT&T at the half. It's been an exciting one at Moby Arena. The crowd is packed. College basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Grand Wagoneer. At Moby Arena in Fort Collins, Colorado, Fresno State 28, Colorado State 25. Second half to come up next on CBS Sports Network. Fresno State 28, Colorado State 25. Halftime at Moby Arena. Second half getting set to begin between the Bulldogs and the Rams. It's been a good one so far with the emoji man himself, Coach Chris
Don't
Walker.
hate on me.
He
Don't
loves
hate
his
on me.
emojis.
Don't hate on me.
Chris Lewis here with you. So we talked about defense versus offense coming in. Colorado State, their offense, Mountain West best. Fresno State, their defense, they're top 5 in the nation in that category. So far, defense has prevailed.
It definitely has reigned supreme right now for Fresno State. They've been doing a fantastic job. We were here in the walkthrough with Justin Hudson, detail-oriented, going through each different cut, and they've done a great job thus far. Now, Roddy's gotten it going, but they've taken care of the rest of the other guys, suffocated the offense, and right now they're playing at their pace, right, with 25 points. give Fresno State Bulldogs credit, but here's the deal. 20 minutes left to go.
Yeah, so what does Colorado State need to do in these next 20 minutes to increase it back to what they like?
You know, I mean, I'm sitting here, so I used to coach, right? But what I would do is I would probably press, try to pick the tempo up. Now, the other thing they got to do, they got to figure out how they're going to guard Orlando Robinson, right? Are they going to trap? Are they going to go after him? Or are they just going to allow him to go one-on-one? But they need to get some shot attempts, right? They scored 78 points a game. They got 25. It's not looking good. Now, they beat San Diego State, which is the best defensive team in the league at 55. But, hey, right tonight, it's a tough night. Fresno State, their game's on the line. They need to win this game. They need a quad one win, and they're playing that way right now.
A lot at stake in this Mountain West matchup as we take a look at the Grand Wagoneer game summary. Field goal percentage is even, but Colorado State spraying the ball a little bit better with their 7 assists, but the pace and tempo of this game certainly favors the Bulldogs, who are out in front. Now, the head-to-head between Roddy and Robinson has been fun.
Yeah, it definitely has been, and, you know, that's what you want to see. You want to see the two best players guard each other, and that's what they've done. Roddy playing defense, going at him. You see they're doubling him, created a couple turnovers. Now, that hasn't happened as much as you would think because he's been superb with 16 points, and Mr. Roddy put him in the spin cycle. I called him a dancing bear. He's light on his feet when he gets those paws going, dropping dimes and making layups. He's tough. They need more of that in the second half if they want to win this game.
Orlando Robinson just tough to stop. 16 points, the 10 rebound or the 10 points for
that
David
part right
Roddy.
there. They got to stop that.
Yeah, 6 for 9. That's a little too nice.
Way too nice, and they can't allow that to happen moving forward in the second half.
All right, let's check in with Brandon, our reporter.
Hey, Chris, I had a chance to catch up with Coach Hudson, and, of course, defense is the one thing he wanted to talk about. He talked about you can't allow them transition. And also the last 4 or 5 minutes, they finally were able to click it into gear. When it comes to Robinson, he likes what he's doing. He said he's making good decision. On the flip side, when it comes to Colorado State, David Roddy has been carrying it. And when it comes to him, you've seen what he's doing on the offensive end, but also being physical down there with Orlando Robinson, kind of that mano-y-mano when you're talking about those top players here.
Yeah, mano-a-mano, Brandon. The story of this game, thanks in large part to the defense for both teams keeping this lower pace. So Orlando Robinson's 15, David Roddy's 10. They've made up a large percentage of the scoring in this game.
But you talk about, again, I mentioned earlier about style-making fights. Who's more comfortable at this pace, right? You know, obviously Colorado State's at home. I mentioned earlier that they only scored 55 and beat San Diego State, the best defensive team in the league. But I'll tell you this, I see a different Fresno State team right now, and if they can come in and duplicate that same type of energy and keep that game plan intact, that's very important. But Nico Memdev's a very good coach. I guarantee you he's got something cooked up for the second half for Mr. Robinson. But right now, Chris, it's Mr. Robinson's neighborhood.
Should be a juicy second half. Moby Arena in Fort Collins, Colorado. Sold-out crowd as they see their hometown Rams down by 3. Tonje to start the second half in style for Colorado State, his first bucket of the night.
And then again, that was Colorado. That was very good defense. He made a tough shot. Good defense, great offense, but a terrific start for Colorado to get this crowd into the game. That's what they need. And that's a turnover, and now the machine is going.
Sean Thomas fronting Robinson, gets the Colorado State steal.
The other thing Fresno State is doing a terrific job of is transition defense, getting back, and that's the switch. They got the switch right there with Stevens, with Robinson on Stevens, but they got Deshaun Thomas in the post to see what he can do with it.
Spins in, banks it off, and in.
They're coming out possessed right now, 2 terrific possessions. Justin Hudson not affected, slow it down, work our offense. Again, we're going to get the ball inside to the big fella.
Robinson is the big fella. You caught it, Coach.
Mental telepathy. I'm looking at Justin Hudson, and I'm doing like Aquaman. You know, he's doing this, and I'm saying, throw the ball inside.
I mean, Robinson out here looking like Superman, bringing up Aquaman.
They cleared out the weak side. And when that happens, you have to put intense pressure on the ball, or that will be there all night long for that young man. He will finish that. Too easy.
Tonje, got it!
And that's what you need to get this crowd into the game. They share the basketball like no other. Tanji, a decent three-point shooter. I mean, he made that from deep. You contested the shot. That's all you can ask for.
Gamble draws a crowd. Hill, a deep three. Rebound scooped up by Deshaun Thomas. Colorado State on the run. Talked about tempo. Here is that Ram tempo.
They're certainly trying to pick it up. Again, they need to get this thing moving fast because Fresno State, they're going to slow it down and be very deliberate about what they're going to do on offense. You see Justin Hudson, I need a timeout to get us back on track.
Colorado State hadn't led since it was 15-13 before the second half.
And the Rams doing what they do best at home, sharing the basketball, and from distance, back ahead.
Speaking of the San Diego State Aztecs, let's a look at their tournament resume, as they are, according to Jerry Palm's projection, right now a 10 seed for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I think they definitely got a chance to get in. They have to keep winning, though. You say they got them as a 10 seed. That could change at any time. But, you know, I'm loving what I'm seeing from the Mountain West. They're just doing a terrific job on all fronts, you know, from top to bottom. I think they may get almost 6 teams in.
Wow, 6. Yes. I haven't heard 6 many times.
I'm just telling you, that's what I believe. You know, it depends on how it all shakes out. Fresno State's got an excellent chance with 2 quad 1 wins, opportunities at the end of the year. Colorado, I mean, I just really believe they have a chance to do it.
Well, Jerry Palm, the 4 teams that he had, Tanjay is strict but fouled. Junior Ballard in the area. So for Chris Walker, these are you said
Palm,
6.
Jerry Palm, look at Chris Walker's. Look at that. I'm telling you. Look at Chris Walker. I'm telling you. The guy, they have a chance to get in. I'm telling you. They have a chance to get in. That's 6. I can tell you, that's 6 teams. We're going to get there.
That would be something else for a conference that had 5 in 2013. David Roddy, too strong, and 1.
Just body control, spinning like a top. You let him get that deep. He's too crafty, too good. I mean, Holland has no chance. Robinson comes late. Again, who's coming? Who's coming with the double? No one's there in time. Too late. He finishes, goes back the other way. It's that football ability to turn. I mean, those hips. Ran with the track. This guy did everything.
Did everything. Track with the shot put, discus.
They're very competitive families. See Justin Hudson looking a little concerned there because, again, they're starting to make a run. But again, don't go away from 10. Get the ball back in his hands and make them make adjustments.
A 10-2 run for Colorado State. Robinson trying to play the role of silencer.
Yeah, they got 4 guys zoned up the minute he gets the basketball.
Hill had a crease. Instead, it's Ballard with the hot potato. Excellent rebound in traffic, and a foul is Anthony Holland doing the dirty work. The do-it-all, jack-of-all-trades, according to Coach Justin Hudson. And it's a foul on Colorado State's.
Really good ball movement there. You see him getting to the rim, getting the rebound amongst the trees. Thomas coming down, swinging down the foul. But that, again, I believe that if they wanted to win this game now, it's 35-30, that they're going to have to make threes. They're going to have to knock those shots down. You're not going to win by making 2s. And the way that Colorado State is spacing them on defense, once you throw the ball into Robinson, they're zoning up. So there's opportunities, there's mismatches there, particularly if Roddy guards him. That means Thomas has to guard a guard. So you got to find those mismatches and swing the basketball.
So you said zoning up a couple of times. Explain exactly what that means.
So when you throw the ball into Robinson, there's 4 guys just sitting in the paint and staring at him. They're like they're in a zone. So if he turns and tries to go to the rim, they're coming, they're pre-rotating, and they're coming with help, and they're going to trap him or double him. I mean, again, think about it. He had 16 points in the first half. Yeah. You know what they said? Somebody else is going to score. Somebody else is going to have to beat us.
Donjay. And the rebound gobbled up by Junior Ballard as Fresno State, after stopping the Colorado State run, for possessions, back-to-back possessions with points.
one thing that's a big difference between college and pro is that in college, you can zone up, you can sit guys in the lane, there's no defense in 3 seconds. You can stop players. You can say, you know what, you're not going to score, somebody else is going to have to make a basket.
In and out of the hands, Whitaker has to hurry. Ballard looks at the clock, jab step, launches, bricks. Robinson, the upward, nearly a stick back.
That's what they do so well. They offensive rebound. Colorado's got to do a better job of keeping them off the glass.
It's been a good one at Moby Arena all night long. Looking to stay that way.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef? And by Mattress Firm, where you can save up to $500 on select beds.
8,000-plus seat Moby Arena, home to the Rams since 1966. In fact, February 4th, 1966, was Colorado State taking on Texas Western, and the Miners won on a field goal in the final seconds. They won that game 68-66. Whereas Texas Western that year, this is Black History Month. You should know Texas Western, led by Don Haskins. That year was the first team to win a title with an all-black starting five.
Yeah, David Lattin on that team. I mean, did you see that movie? That was a great movie, right? Roby Road, I mean, it was an unbelievable movie, and you mentioned before it's Black History Month. I usually call it Black Learning Month because I still need to, there's a lot more things I need to learn myself. But, I mean, unbelievable flashback. There's a lot of history here, a lot of history in this program. I see you got your orange tie. Will you break that out for a reason? Because they've worn orange here before, right?
They did. In fact, in their game against San Diego State just a couple of games ago, and then Colorado State went at home, survived the late scare. San Diego State overcame a 20-point deficit in that game. Yeah, Colorado State wore their orange, went by the Aggies name in that game. As it used to be Colorado A&M.
I told you I was watching film. You see it right there. I was watching film on these guys, and I'm like, oh, I must be watching Boise State. Let me readjust. Am I watching the right team?
Hit the back button on the browser. Orlando Robinson, a couple of free throws for the All-Mountain West big man. That's Fresno State back within one.
They're picking up the pressure, but they get a little bit more aggressive. I look for Colorado State to get that ball back to Roddy. There he is slicing into the post. Good job by Junior Ballard being physical and fronting him, keeping his body in front of him.
Stevens has been relatively quiet, make some noise on that drive.
So think about it, there's a mismatch going on, a chess match. Roddy has the mismatch, but Ballard's fronting him, but also Stevens has a mismatch with Robinson and getting to the rim on.
Robinson, pick and roll, pick and pop game, the staple of Fresno State's offense. Three from the corner, and Ballard can't get it to fall. Robinson active on the glass and throws it in.
Wow. He's on fire. He's really playing at an elite level. There's that pressing again.
And Lake beats it.
Colorado State they want the game to go up and down. They want to be athletic. Thought Orlando Robinson could have blocked that shot, but no need for him to foul. They need him in the game.
Finally cools off with a three. Just his fourth miss so far tonight. 8 for 12 shooting. Crossover, the oohs and ahs. Isaiah Stevens.
From the great state, that's my guy. A little crossover action. Dropped him off with the pull-up. All conference pick. I don't know how he got out of Texas.
You just sound so pained about that.
Oh, no. I like when coaches do a great job of identifying talent. And you know what? Everything he wants is happening right here in Colorado State, so it is what it is.
Couple of tips around the rim. Holland commits the foul against Roddy. That's the big body of David Roddy. Too much.
Robinson being a tad bit frustrated. Give Colorado State credit. They're coming with the double. Mentioned earlier, this is where Robinson's got to look maybe to kick it to open players. And I say it time and time again, they have to make some shots. And you can see that foul there. Holland being aggressive. Well, that body there, too much body. You can't get around that thing right there.
almost like Megan Thee Stallion with the big body David Roddy. Megan Thee Stallion up in here. Gonna make a pop culture reference every now and then.
You can just tell the swagger that Colorado State's playing with right now. Oh, missed the bunny by Jacobs. Dallas Baptist transfer.
Hill rise and fire. Yes, sir. Isaiah Hill.
Yeah, just good rhythm. That was just a good play coming off. They hand the DHO, they call it dribble handoff with Robinson. So you got to, have to pay attention to him. He's rolling to the rim. Gives him a nice pull-up. They like to run that action.
Colorado State in this game shooting above the 50% mark. As a team this year, 49% from the floor. Stevens, a head fake. Excellent drive. Three-pointer. Robinson on skates.
And you can see Robinson throws his hands up, right? And he's saying, and I agree with him, where is the help? You know I'm in a mismatch situation. Where is the help? And it looks like Colorado State turned like a little bit of a zone action there.
Foul underneath on Colorado State.
Chris, I love the little guys. Put them on skates, but here's the question. Who's helping? Who's helping? Where is the help? Again, it's a mismatch situation. You see right there, that's hands up. You can't just throw your hands in there. You got to put your body in there, and you got to, Orlando Robinson's doing a lot on offense, right? You got to help him on defense. Now, you can't let him just get dropped off like that by an elite guards. Stevenson's an all-conference player. He can take care of Mr. Robinson from the perimeter for sure.
And he's heating up in this second half. He can heat up quickly. Hill loses the ball after we gather. The Isaiah on Fresno State wants to heat up. And that time misses to the right. We have Isaiah Hill for Fresno State, Isaiah Stevens for Colorado State, who has the basketball. No look to the corner. Tajay there to knock it down.
While they're so good, they share the basketball. Stevens is finally awakened, and now he's getting into the lane whenever he wants off that ball screen. I think Fresno's got to think about how they're guarding ball screens, because that's how he's getting in the lane and creating havoc.
Tough look for Holland. No. Jacob Skies. Colorado State on a run. A chance to go up double digits for the first time.
Fresno State 3 turnovers, 1 field goal this half. Not good enough. Moore get the offensive rebound. You can just tell the energy. The crowd is ready to erupt.
Stevens in his bag, behind the back.
That's very talented. He was definitely in his bag. That was nice. I was ready to jump up too.
High ball screen is a moving screen on Braxton Mia. Colorado State is feeling it. Fresno State scoreless over the last 2 minutes. It's the Isaiah Stevens takeover, this time on the pass. It was a no look. We get another look. College basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Grand Wagoneer. Colorado State outscoring Fresno State 21-10. So far in the second half, it opened up an 8-point lead. Black History Month, and for the significance with Colorado State, let's go to Brandon Baylor, our reporter on the sideline.
Yeah, Chris, you just mentioned this is Black History Month. It gives us the opportunity to look at some of those pioneers who broke into the sports world here at Colorado State. Back in 1946, that was George Jones, originally enrolled back when the school was Colorado A&M to play football, basketball, ran track, and then 2 years later, it was the first letter in basketball for a black athlete. On top of that, he was also in the wrestling team and had 12-time letter winner, breaking a lot of barriers here at Colorado State.
Thanks.
My goodness, what that
versatile. That word versatility came to mind there.
You got to do it all.
You mentioned it earlier in this broadcast, Chris, just the different stories to be told.
No question.
Black History Month. Really, why limit it to just 1 month? The great stories, not just these schools, but within the Mountain West.
Yeah, no question about it. And it's just learning the history of our country. Even though it's Black history, it's still our country, and great pioneers. I love it. Love learning about it. And we're moving forward.
Moving forward in this game, Fresno State being outscored by 11 points in this second half. What's been the difference?
You know what? If they're shooting 51% from the field. You know, you're talking about a team in Fresno State that does not allow you to shoot at a high clip, 57 points, and there's another one just too easy. For him to get the basketball, he should be fronting him. It was like a direct hot line pass. It wasn't even a bounce pass, a chest pass. I'm sure Justin Hudson doesn't like that. You see the sub coming out, and they're going right back at him again. Their energy is electric right now.
Roddy draws a charge. He scores on one end, plays the defense on the other. Two-way player.
Again, you see that pass. There was no defense. I mean, there was zero defense on the pass. That's just straight scouting right there by Roddy. Doing it all. See, Lou, I mean, he's just playing at a high level, you know, matching what Orlando Robinson did in the first half. He's doing it for his squad in the second half. He played decent, but he's playing at a high level now.
I'm going to ask you a tough question.
No, don't do me.
I'm going to do it. David Roddy, would you say he's the favorite at this point for the Mountain West Player of the Year?
Ooh, that's a tough one. On that note,
He says he is.
let me just jump in and be in an echo chamber in Moby Arena and say yes.
Right on cue. Colorado State has scored the game's last 10. Hill to end the run. Not this time. Roddy gets the board.
Yeah, they're in that zone. I mean, let's get back to Roddy. So good, talented, and then was a joy to spend time with. I'm telling you right now, I spent 20 plus years in college. You know what the best feeling is? When the best player is the best guy. And he was a tremendous interview when we sat down with him.
One of the things he told us is just how hard he worked this summer in Dallas, training with a lot of other elite players in college basketball, working on his three ball. Missed his last one, but made the possession before.
Yeah, he's smart, man. He went back to the great state and did some stuff. You see that hand right there? Little ball screen, big ball screen. You see here back, can't do that. I mean, he can knock that down. Man, you got to come up and guard him. Players to watch. I'm telling you right now, these two guys here are unbelievable. This dude's a walking double-double, right? And we talked about him. I recruited him at Cal, but Mr. Roddy, you might be right, tonight is making a case for himself.
Maldonado, another player of the year contender. EK has been strong as well for Wyoming. Ballard needs this and gets it.
That's what they got to do. I mean, they have to move the basketball. You see Robinson's back in the game, off the double. And again, he brings the double. You move it. One more, knocks it down from the corner. Easy shot in the world to shoot, especially for a guy like Junior Ballard. But they need more of those. They cannot win this game without threes.
Backdoor goes Moores. Late rotation on the defense. Roddy found him. James Moores deposits two.
Well, you're talking about scouting. I mean, they were ready for that. And Fresno State even talked about not allowing backdoor passes, but it wasn't to Moore. It was not, don't let Stevens get backdoor passes. But again, the pressure, I mean, the pace of this game is starting to pick up, and there's another turnover. Just uncharacteristic of Fresno State. 2 turnovers last game. Then they got 10 or 11 now. Double digits.
Roddy has a matchup he likes against Hill.
And drop the baby off. They got to come with a double. Great time.
Moores again. We'll head to the line.
I mean, the complexity of this game has completely changed. You're talking about a sold-out arena, and you're talking about an elite team. And here's the other thing. They've beaten Fresno State 6 straight times.
It's been a dominant stretch for Colorado State against Fresno State. It's the 4th foul on Junior Ballard. 4 fouls, by the way, on Deshaun Thomas for Colorado State. So that's the foul trouble in this game. Start your Saturday with Serie A kickoff as Lazio faces Bologna. And tomorrow morning at 9 Eastern on CBS Sports Network, streaming live on Paramount+.
I got to ask you, Chris, who you got, Bengals or Rams?
You know, I watch enough college football and cover enough college football, as Moores connects on the second. I haven't seen Joe Burrow lose a meaningful game. It seems like every time the game means something, he rises to the occasion. So I'm going with the Bengals.
Wow, the Bengals. Okay. Sticky Icky Woods, man. That was my guy back in the day. The Bengals. No OBJ.
Corner 3 by Hill, way off. You know, going back to that point on the Super Bowl with Joe Burrow, who's looking to win a national championship in college football. Already checked that box off, and a Super Bowl. The only other 2 to do it, their name was also Joe. So it's just something in the name.
Yeah, look for you to get tidbits like that. That's
Just got to give the hat tip there to our producer, Devin. She wanted me to drop that in. Joe Montana and Joe Namath, the other Joes. Colorado State has taken control, up by 13 over Fresno State at home. They're 11-1 at home this season, thanks in large part to Roddy on the pass this time. College basketball, CBS Sports Network, presented by Grand Wagoneer. The Old Trapper Beef Jerky player of the game might be the player of the year in the Mountain West.
Yeah, no question about it. Call him Big Body Roddy, but he's so unbelievably nimble. You see right there, just abusing Calabaro and coming off that ball screen. Mia, I mean, just got to understand that this guy shoots almost 50% for three. And not only that he does that, he's dropped a couple of nice dimes as well. He can do every single thing. We talk about bag and toolbox. He has it all. Hailing from the Twin Cities, I say again, like this, there's players all over the place. Give Colorado State credit. With a Stevens, with him, they brought in great players, and they've done it the right way, not transfers. They bring guys in, develop them, and this is, you know, the fruits of their labor.
Has that connection with Nico Medved, who's also a Minnesota native. Said he was able to reference local food spots and restaurants.
It's important.
You know, in the recruiting process, to make that personal connection. When you can make it personal, it helps.
I'm telling you, like, it is very important. I used to have that line. They used to call me Good Talker Walker. I don't know why. I mean, but I would say you take 99. All I need is take one step towards me. I'll take 99 towards you. And that's all. That's what it's all about. That's what you have to do.
The issue here is looking at the clock, as you can see. Right there, frozen at 7:33. They called you Good Talker Walker. I'm not surprised at all. They need to figure out the clock issue, hand time it, go to the table. They have figured it all out. 7:22 on there, adding 8 seconds. Colorado State, making Fresno State needs every bit of the 8 seconds. The other team down by 13.
He was playing that zone, just keeping it tight. They're not going to allow Orlando Anderson to get off, and that's the shot they got to make, and it's been tough all night.
Follow-up by Anthony Holland to not let the possession go to waste.
And they've been terrible from three, and again, when you watch tape and you try to devise a game plan, you can play a lot of defense. I always make this reference about boxing. You can be the best defensive guy in the world, but you got to throw some punches, right? You got to be able to connect on some punches to it. Oh, goodness.
The jumping behind the shoulder. No, look! And James Moores is the recipient. David Roddy is a stud.
Absolute stud. You see, they're in that. They are not going to allow him to touch the basketball. It's 2 offensive rebounds in a row. Heels got to be ready to knock that shot down when Orlando kicks it out. But they're just intent on stopping him from having one-on-one action and also being close to the rim. Fresno State seems a bit confused right now on what to do.
Robinson has to bail them out. Late shot clock 3. Not the shooter's roll. Roddy tips the board to himself.
Yeah, I mean, you see Justin Russell with his hands on his hips. Like, all you can do is put them out. Like, you can't shoot the ball for them. Like, they have to make shots to give themselves a chance to win, no matter how many times they stop them.
There's no answers for David Roddy. He has the crowd in the palm of his hand.
Unbelievable performance. I mean, Holland's been getting abused all game long. Again, Robinson's late, but he's worried about coming over because he knows that Roddy's going to drop the dime. Fresno State, I mean, just a great first half. And as I said before, and I was telling you, Chris, the game is what? 40 minutes. 20 minutes. The chess match was on the first 20 minutes. On the next 20 minutes, the Rams have owned the Bulldogs.
Just tough. That's the 3rd and 1 of the game for David Roddy. 21-6-6. And he was getting some MVP chance at Moby Arena.
That zone, and they're just closing out. They're just not going to allow him to get the basketball.
Contested 3, now 1 for 14 this half
Unbelievable.
Fresno State from 3.
It's tough to win, especially on the road. It's a quality opponent. I know they really want this quad 1 win, but it's the reason why Colorado State's a quad 1 game. They score the basketball, but they have smart coaches, made the right adjustments. But Fresno State's doing themselves a disservice by not being able to make triples.
Faucet just turned off for Fresno State in the second half.
Yeah, but think about it. Orlando Robinson was scoring on that box every single time or in the middle of the lane, and it hasn't happened. They've disrupted that. Now they're back to man. They're out of the zone, but yeah, they're keeping them off balance.
1 for 15 from 3.5. It will remain Fresno State basketball.
It's amazing how quick this game has turned. And you talk about spurtability. You know, Colorado State, they just get out on you so fast. But that's what happens when you can score the basketball. When you have willing passers looking to pass to each other, and you have guys that can actually make shots. That's why they're the best scoring team in this league.
Fresno State in danger of dropping back-to-back games for the first time this season.
Back to the zone again, just keeping it tight.
Robinson, finally a deep post touch. Roddy does enough to alter. Second chance, Robinson.
They just have to work so hard to get that deuce. You know what I mean? And they can't score enough twos. I mean, it's 4 minutes a game, so I don't say what they can't do. You can't score enough twos because Colorado State's such a good team. You know, Nico Medvedev's got his guys fired up. You got this, they're on the road. It's a quality opponent. They got to be able to knock down a couple of triples to loosen that defense up a little bit. But it starts on this end, is playing defense.
Stevens.
Oh, my gosh. Thomas got away with a foul there. Foul or a flop, one or the other.
Well, there's a stop that Fresno State needs.
And they could use a 3. Calamaro in the middle of the lane if he can catch it and kick it.
Polinario was the target. Chandler Jacobs knocks it away. Fresno State running out of time on the road. Only 1 win in Moby for Fresno State since 1994. College basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Grand Wagoneer. Colorado State Rams coming in 18-3, 8-3 in the Mountain West. Right now in 3rd, behind Boise State and Wyoming. They have both of those teams still to go, including what will be a showdown at Extra Mile Arena in Boise on Sunday.
They certainly will. And I think that they have done enough to put themselves in position to get an NCAA bid. Right now, we're just talking about seeding for sure.
Couple of meetings with Boise State. So, Chris, let's take a look at some of your sleeper teams.
I'm like Orlando Robinson. I'm waking up from my nap right now, but I'm telling you right now, the sleeper teams, Marquette, Shaka Smart, unbelievable job, swept my Wildcats. Arkansas Razorback, big win. Hey, Larry Nagel's done a tremendous job in Miami. Watch out for them. And Dana Altman, I told him not to bet against them, but that team right there, Rutgers, New Jersey, give them a little bit of love. Upset Michigan State and Ohio State. Wow, Steve Peichel, my old battle mate from UConn back in the Big East days. Got to give a boy some love.
State University of New Jersey. Rutgers getting some love. And what a week for Rutgers. And Ohio State and Michigan State. A couple of wins that were tough and unexpected. Fresno State has had turnover problems. That is their 12th. Meanwhile, Colorado State only 3 turnovers. None for Colorado State in the second half.
You know, they just played a phenomenal, just mistake-free half. And done a tremendous job of getting the ball to their star, and he's made it happen, but, you know, not just him. They've made some shots. Tanji's made some shots. Warshwood did a great job of cutting, and Stevens doing what he does best, just getting in the lane just like that and making plays.
Stevens. So the Mountain West, you talked about perhaps 6 teams. They had 5 in 2013. Robinson a trail of 3. Can't knock it down. Jerry Palm had 4 teams. The conference tournament could do a lot to decide what happens come March Madness.
Yeah, I mean, no question about it. They're playing like a power, you know, I hate to use the term power 5. Yeah. I mean, that's a football team. You know, we got like an elite 8 in basketball where you talk about the Big East for one, you're leaving them out. That's number 1. And you got, you know, the Mountain West, and right now you got the WCC. That's multiple bid leagues. So anything could easily happen. Nice job there. They got, I mean, they happen to be able to knock that shot down. if they can get on a run and go into the conference tournament against teams that are already solidly in, right? Obviously, the AQ always gets an automatic qualifier, but anything is possible when you have a league as solid. You know, your top 6 teams are this solid. Anything can happen on any given night.
We're 25 days away from the Mountain West tournament at the Thompson Mack Center.
That's right away. Right around the corner.
Coming up. Sneaking it in, John Tonje. But to that point, so you're not too far away from the Mountain West tournament. Of course, you have the quarterfinal, semifinal on CBS Sports Network. 3-pointer in and out. What type of style typically works best in that type of scenario? An offensive team like Colorado State or a defensive style like Fresno State?
You know, it's interesting because it'll all be neutral site. So you won't have the advantage of your rim sleeping in
Except
your
UNLV.
bed. Right. They would, but again, they won't. I mean, if they get it done, that would be amazing. They got it done this year. Oh, my goodness. I mean, come on, Mr. Roddy, let me get my thought out before you do something else amazing. Dropping the dime. Nico Medvedev says, everybody get up and enjoy this. They did a tremendous job in the second half. But I'll tell you this, defense travels. It did not travel tonight. Nice job there throwing it up top. Didn't travel tonight for the Bulldogs. It traveled the first half, but the second half, they were just too much for them. And again, no shame in losing this game. Again, they lost to a quality opponent. They're going to have to get some of these quad 1 wins, if they want to keep their NCAA hopes alive. Great crowd. And Roddy, you know what's funny? Roddy said, I remember when there was no one here when I first got the job. I believed in the vision, and look what's happened. And there it is, and they're dropping another dime. Can't finish the bunny, though.
I mean, the job that Roddy has done is the top player of the last couple of years, Nico Medvedev, the head coach, really connecting with the community here in Fort Collins. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful sight.
You know, given what COVID last year, no fans, and look at what we have now. This is college basketball. This is what it's all about, and this is what we've been waiting for. Shout out to the Colorado State Rams and Moby Arena. Great job.
Colorado State once again wins at home against Fresno State. 65-50 is the final. A dominant second half as the Rams outscore the Bulldogs 40-22 after the break. The matchup on the marquee between Roddy and Robinson certainly lived up to the hype, as Colorado State now even in the win column with Wyoming and Boise State. Have Boise State still twice to go, including on Sunday, part of this extreme stretch of 4 games in 8 days for Colorado State.
Yeah, you know, think about they have a chance here to really make some noise, and you see those 2 teams at top. Anything can happen. They can end up winning this league, you know, so they're in the driver's seat in my mind. I think they're playing at a high clip right now. Roddy plays like that, and you see they're excited. They're going to go shake everybody's hands. The culture here is phenomenal. You got to shout out to the Colorado State Rams. What you're seeing right now, this is what college basketball is all about.
Nico Medved's star, David Roddy, 21 points, 7 boards, 8 assists in 35 minutes.
Yeah, just phenomenal. A tremendous game by him. And you can see he looks like he's limping a little bit, but I think he'll be all right. You can't hurt that guy. He seems indestructible. But, again, shout out to the crowd. Amazing, amazing atmosphere. And the 6th man got it done in the second half for sure.
Colorado State does it at home. 9-3 in the conference. Fresno State falls to 6-5 on their side of things. One of their goals perhaps shifts from finishing atop the league to making sure you get into the top 5, because the top 5 teams in the Mountain West get the bye into the conference tournament.
Yeah, they definitely get into the conference final, but you know what? We'll be back in a second. Again, Colorado State, great win.
It's a final from Moby Arena as Colorado State gets the 65-50 win against Fresno State. A big home win for the Rams. Let's go to Brandon, who has the star of the night, David Roddy.
Yeah, Chris, here with David Roddy. You guys have been calling him Big Body Roddy. I'm curious, coming out of that second half, what was the conversation? Because it seems like you guys flipped the switch in the second half there.
Yeah, no, it was just raising the intensity. You know, our spirit was a little bit down, so we just had to raise that, and just our the effort on defense as well. You know, Orlando Robinson's an all-league player, so, you know, it was a big challenge, but I'm super proud of my team for stepping up.
Coach said this one would be physical. You were physical in the paint, as you mentioned there, against Orlando Robinson. Also dishing it out to your teammates and also scoring 21 points. What got into you? What was working for you a little bit?
Yeah, just getting in a rhythm really through the offense, as well as transition, you know, getting my teammates involved, and, you know, that's when we start having fun. So, you know, once we get in that momentum, we're hard to stop.
All right, enjoy the win. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks to David Roddy. Thanks to Brandon Baylor. David Roddy put on a show. Colorado State, monster second half to close out Fresno State. For Chris Walker, Brandon Baylor, our entire CBS Sports crew, I'm Chris Lewis. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.